Hey all, Cypher, and welcome back to another Outerplane video, and it's going to be a different video. It's going to be my own tier list for the best heroes to use. Again, now tier lists are pretty subjective in nature, so don't take my word on it right now. I'm not a top player. I'm not in masters yet. Like high diamond 1 style kind of thing, but I do have a fair idea, right, on which heroes are going to be great for potentially upcoming RTA, even general arena matches, right? It's going to be mostly focused on PvP. Right, it's mostly focused. Now, of course, I made a section for PvE Only Heroes. Now, does not mean that the hero cannot be used in PvP, but in general, right? In general, you'll experience this much better success if you're using them in PvE. Like, they're just not that good, right? You have some examples. We all know which ones they are, but don't worry. We're gonna sit tight, right? We're gonna go through all of them. Of course, top tier is a tier which is basically must picks, right? These heroes are kind of pick and ban when it comes to RTA. And even in general arena, you will see them like almost 100% of the time. Like, one of them is going to be in the team no matter what, right? No matter what, of course. Great picks are those picks which are, you know, these are regular picks in the arena. Like, according to meta, they might change, but they're still going to be great regardless, right? They're decent. They, you know, they accentuate the type of play you're going to go for. If you're a cleaver, if you're, you know, more bruiser type, if you're more standard type of player, right? Fast, aggressive, but still, you know, not super cleaver type. Now, the third tier is tricky to use, which means these heroes are not exactly in the meta. They are kind of like ever-changing, evergreen characters which specify a different role in the game, right? They're not really, like, you know, limited to the meta. They can be used according to the type of team you're using, right? Of course, these heroes can also be buffed in the future. You know, they can be used, they can be super good in the future, but at the moment, they're kind of tricky to use. They're not exactly, you know, your go-to picks. You cannot blindly pick them, if you get what I mean, right? Of course, PvE already discussed. Not recommended is going to be those type of heroes which are just, you know, out of the blue trash, to put it bluntly. They're not recommended to build. Do not invest your resources into them yet. If you have, then, you know, just let it be. Maybe in the future, you know, they will get buffs, because the devs have said that they will be buffing a lot of heroes before the actual RTA releases. So I'm expecting a lot of the trash ones or the not recommended ones getting buffed, right? Apart from that, it's only going to be 3 stars. So 2 stars, of course, I'm going to be mentioning, you know, some special mentions if required. But apart from that, it's going to be mostly 3 stars, right? Because, you know, 3 stars are the characters which players are mostly more, you know, looking forward to. They're more lucrative to get. They also offer more values. You can also, like, you know, have a good decision making on which 3 stars heroes you want to farm their pieces from. You know, when it comes to side stories, 2-star heroes are, you know, they're generally like easily available. They're not super exclusive, right? Yeah. Apart from that, let's begin with our tier list. Now, the first tier in top tier is going to be none other than where's the chick? Where is she? The Cancer herself. Yeah, there we go. Tamara is going to be our first top tier pick. Tamara has been, like, known in the meta, like, basically ever since she came out. She has, like, outforwardly replaced Valentine as the you know, the titular opener. Her usage is getting a little bit cugged nowadays with immunity sets running around, but she's still, you know, amazing. AoE, defense break, reset on cooldowns. She even has that increased crit damage, crit rate buff. With her second skill, she can even silence, right? She has a lot going on. Her first attack is going to be always proccing dual attacks if she does a critical hit rate. So, I'm sorry, critical hit. I'm saying critical hit rate. Yeah, if she does a crit, her basic attack is always going to proc a dual attack. So she's outforwardly like just a better version of Veronica in some ways, right? When it comes to dealing more damage, she's just the overall top tier utility. Like, she's a must build. Like, if you have her, you're lucky. If you are, you know, if you have joined the game after her banner, yeah, good luck getting her. I really hope they're gonna introduce more banners or reruns for her, but considering that she just came out, just like not even a month ago, expect a long waiting time, probably like two months, maybe minimum, bare minimum, right? Apart from that, yeah, she's just overall the best hero. Second, when it comes to top tier picks, is gonna be Alice. She was widely considered as the worst hero in the game, like worst, like she was probably not recommended 2 months ago. Nowadays, she's getting a lot more play, a lot more play because of immunity sets. In short, immunity sets, you know, you required to strip them, and currently the only 2 strippers in the game are going to be Eliza and Miss Alice, right? There's even Akari is not here. Guys, keep in mind, Akari, the new hero just released. I'm not going to be including her in this tier list. This is because me personally, I've not tested her. I've never even touched her. I've not even gotten her on my accounts. so I can't really recommend, you know, anything about her. Everything that I've seen is basically stuff that I've seen in videos or, you know, I've heard from the community. But yeah, I'll just give a general consensus for her. But, you know, anyways, apart from that, Alice is just one of the beasts, because she is a debuff queen. She can strip debuffs, strip buffs, apply unblockable buffs. She can also increase her own evasion just for the extra, you know, RNG chances to evade attacks. She's just a queen. The thing is, she needs to be built super fast, because she's not a ranger. She has some restrictions on her base speed, so really needs some really good gear to work with her. And that's the only issue. Apart from that, she's just a top tier pick, especially because of immunity sets. Just that's it, right? That's it. She also counters Leo and stuff like that, of course, but you know, she's just in short, she's like one of the best strippers in the game because she's able to instantly get a new turn for the second skill and, you know, apply the unblock buff, right? So apart from that, yeah, Alice is just like solid debuff queen. She's the core stripper. Don't get me wrong, no pun intended. Here we have Demi Aste, the second Demiurge unit we saw with Season 2. She is the best cleaver in the game, bar none. She is simply, she excels at everything she does. Even her single target damage is not bad at all, nothing to scoff at, but her AoE is just something else, especially when it's at 6 stars. She's gonna rip through all your teams. Literally any team, not even tanks can be spared. She does a fuck ton of damage. Literal damage. She's a tank killer, she's a bruiser killer, she's a whatever, she kills everything. She doesn't spare anybody. Of course, her weakness is she's kind of slow. She is also, you know, kind of prone to getting reset by tomorrow's. So that's her general weakness, but apart from that, you know, there's really no weakness to Demi Aste, right? If players can use her in a decent cleave comp, she can literally direct them. She just needs to go and press her F3. Even if she dies, she has the trump card beside her to just revive and, you know, get some action points, reset her S3. Just kind of like a mini Arbiter Wildred. If you're from Epic 7, or, you know, if you have played Epic 7, she's kind of a mini Arbiter Wildred. That's it. That's all I'm gonna put out there, right? So there's really no counters to her except Tamara, the chick you're seeing right now, because Tamara is able to reset a passive. But yeah, she's like the best damage dealer when it comes to cleaving, right? Second of all, let's put out Demi Stella, the first Demiurge unit. Of course, Demiurge units, you're kind of knowing that they're top tier because they are essentially creating a whole different playstyle around them, right? They're just like Demi Stella literally created bruiser evasion comps. Like before her, everybody was like probably using Veronica, which is like, you know, not suitable as a bruiser because she's not able to, you know, use that counter. Demi Stella just has big fat shields. If you have her 6-star, even without 6-star, she can counter for a fuck ton of damage. Every ability she has is AoE. She scales with max HP. She also is able to counter every single turn. She's able to increase her action points, her priority gaze, everything. Like, she does every single thing you expect from a bruiser, right? She's only weakness is she's kind of prone to Demi Aste. Even like in general, she's prone to getting hit. In short, that's all I'm gonna say. That's why people build her with lots of evasion, lots of evasion, because if she counters and evades at the same time, there are very few teams that can survive. Like she can potentially take down a single cleave team with one revenge counter. That's it. That's all it takes, right? So people have built her with like massive crit damage builds. They're just expecting her to counter once and eradicate cleave teams. That's it. I faced them myself. I even tried to build it, but my Demi Stella is not 6 stars yet, sadly. But you get my point. You're gonna be seeing her everywhere in the game, especially when RTA comes out. She's gonna be defining the playstyles. Now, when it comes to the last pick in S tiers, actually not the last pick, the second last pick. Where is she? Here we go, Mayne. Mayne is the best healer in the game, the best utility in the game, you might say. Of course, I'm not comparing Tamara's utility to Mayne because Mayne is like a complete different playstyle. She's able to AoE revive, she's able to resurrect, she's able to use the Mage Charm, right? The one which resurrects herself with 100% chance. So even if you kill her, there's the ability she'll revive everybody. Plus, players are building with so much resilience and evasion that there's really so tough to even take her down, to even reset her. Now people were thinking, well, Tamara exists, Tamara can counter Mayne, right? Because she can just put her skills on cooldown. Well, the thing is, with Tamara already requires a lot of crit rate, a lot of speed. Now if you require her with lots of effectiveness and accuracy, that's going to put a lot of burden. That's going to put a lot of burden on stats on her, right? And not every player can do that. So manias are still running super rampant in the meta. She's able to self-sustain like a bitch. Like, she is one of the most annoying units in the game. Super annoying, super annoying. She can heal, she can reduce the duration of debuffs on all allies. She has very low burst points, right? So she can keep triggering her burst skills over and over, keep doing more healing over time. She's just a menace, right? She's just something you would probably not deal with. And to add salt on top of the meat, her Transcendence passive, at 6 stars, she's gonna provide you 10 extra speed. 10 bloody extra speed. So you already know, like, she's gonna empower cleavers, she's gonna empower standard players, she's just gonna empower everybody. Like, speed is king, we all know it. Yes, there's a lot of speed RNG on Outerplane, so even if there's a 20 speed difference, opponent can still take you on, but, you know, the more the merrier. Like, you cannot ignore that speed. 10 extra speed is a lot, right? So in general, she's just solid. There's no complaints about her. She's a tried and tested product. She's well used, let's just say that. Even I like to abuse her sometimes. She's usually abusable on defenses as well. Super abusable, so keep in mind. And especially after RTA, I think she is gonna be like one of the main bans if you're trying to run a cleave team. Maybe, in my opinion, right? Next up is gonna be Notia. This is gonna be debatable, but yes, I put Notia in S tier, on the top tier. That's just because she is a cleave enabler. Now people might say, well, you're favoring cleave too much. Well, I'm not favoring cleave too much. I'm just stating what I'm saying, right? So I see so many Notias, and it's honestly crazy, right? She is able to counter healers, so she's even able to soft counter melee. Granted, same problem as with Notia, she requires a lot of accuracy, effectiveness, but you get my point. You can even build her with like only damage, like 0 speed, and she'll perform like a queen, bro. Like, she will literally nuke the entire team comp, right? So a lot of players are even using the Tamara and Notia combos. Like, Valentine Notia was super popular when Tamara was not released. Now it's more like Tamara and Notia, right? So if you're faster and your Tamara's faster, like, there's a 100% chance she's instantly gonna win, because if you pair her with Notia, Tamara will reset anybody in the opponent side, and Notia will just go ham on them. Literally go ham on them, right? So Notia is kind of like that utility / like really good AoE nuker. Also, she's able to push all allies with her first skill. Her third skill is a big nuke. Damage multipliers are not that great, not gonna lie, but she's pretty good. She's still pretty good, right? No questions, literally no questions. Now we're gonna come to great picks. Now, great picks are essentially heroes which were super good, and they're still super good, but they've been like kind of pushed down because of counters, like super high counters for them. So Leo is going to be one of them. Of course, Leo is still one of the best tanks in the game. His playability, his stuff is pretty unique. He brings the invincible buffs. He also is able to increase evasion for all allies. He's in general super good. The only thing is he is super slow. He's super slow even with glass cannon builds. You know, when you focus only on speed, even when you pair him with melee, he's still not able to catch up. Like, he still needs a lot of good stats in terms of evasion, right, speed, just to work, because his only job is to put up those pesky freaking invincible buffs. That's it, right? And he's usually used in slow teams, slow teams paired with usually Demistella, because a 6-star Demistella can well protect him by granting him, like, you know, her barrier and stuff. But again, the thing is, with Akari, with Alice, with like even Eliza, there's a lot of unbuffables, right? Like, a lot of unbuffables. So his utility just kind of pushed down. But I think if drafted right, if we potentially ban a Tamara and Alice, I think he's a terror, right? He's a terrorist on the battlefield. He cannot be countered. Like, he really needs to be, I think, drafted in the second place. I don't think you can start drafting with him if you're talking about RTA. In arena, you can probably, you know, choose your fights. You don't really have to look at draft, because there's really no draft. You can just literally pick your opponents. You see the team comps. He's still super good in arena. I know a lot of people have pushed easily up to diamond just by using Leo comps, so you can do that as well, right? There's that. Coming to the next hero which I'm gonna add is gonna be Rin. Now, Rin, this is also going to be debatable, but I still find her to be super good. The thing is, A lot of heroes, especially a lot of damage dealers like cleavers, like Demi Aste, Notia, stuff like that, they rely on 100% crit chance, right? So they sacrifice a bit of their damage in part because you really need to get their 100% crit rate, because even if they miss, that's it. That's it, game over for you, right? You can't hang them around 50% crit rate unless you're using something like Valentine or Tamara. But even then, Tamara is usually going to use Tamara with her first, third ability. You're not going to start with second ability, right? So really depends on what you're using. Me personally, I still like Rin because she's able to use her third ability, that third skill, and that grants her increased crit chance. And their damage multipliers are not at all bad, guys. Not at all bad. Now, of course, they're not exactly Demi Aste level. Like, Demi Aste is a Demiurge unit. You cannot really compare them. But I still think she does super well. I personally use her. I have her 6-star. She does super, super good damage. Like, she's easily able to pop 70-80k easily, right? And the fact is, you can even increase her because you're not dependent on getting the 100% crit rate. You only need to build her with as much damage as possible, as much attack, crit damage. That's it, right? So I still think she is the second best AoE damage dealer, probably even the best if you take out the crit rate chances. But when it comes to utility, of course, Demi Aste is going to beat her because of her passive, her revive, right? So that's it. That's the only reason Rin is here. Else I would probably put Rin into the S tier, but yeah, that's the only way she's down in the great picks tier, right? And you can probably use her if Demi Aste is banned, honestly. A lot of people might use her. Alright, now when it comes to the next pick, it's another debatable one. Again, I know a lot of players might see this as what the fuck are you talking about, but I'm gonna put Eliza here. Now, hear me out, right? Here, Eliza is... her buff seems to be really good. Alright, I know a lot of players, especially in the guild, they're testing it out. The Church Guild. Shout out to Sturby and the gang. Those guys are testing around. I've seen the videos, man. They've really, they've really pushed beyond the limits. Thing is, Eliza, a lot of people ignore that she's able to strip 2 buffs as well, right? She's able to strip 2 buffs. She's able to reduce her defenses. So she has utility. She's not super bad. She's not bad at all. She's even seeing some play in the high meta, in high tier rankings. Of course, she's super stat dependent. She's not able to cycle fast enough, right? But she's able to push allies with her 10% priority push, the buff she grants, the unique buff. Apart from that, she's a stripper. She's a stripper right now, so her value is instantly gone up because of immunity sets. The sad part is, her third ability, it can strip and it can put defense down, right? It's everything that Akari wanted to be. But, again, it's big but, she is gonna counter agile responses. She's gonna counter the, she's gonna proc the Demi Stella Revenge. She's gonna proc the freaking Stella, the normal light Stella Revenge. So there's a lot of ifs right there. So I'm gonna still put her here. She's super good in arena. RTA again, not really. At the moment, I don't think she's gonna be super good in RTA, just because Demi Stella and stuff like that exists. But I still think she's good right now, at least for arena. So I'm gonna put her here, right? Coming to the next one, it's gonna be none other than the light counterpart of our Demiurge Stella. It's gonna be the light Stella. I recently showcased her. Naturally, my showcase was not that good because, that's the same problem that I suffer from with like many players. I do not have her on 100% crit build, so yeah, I was not able to showcase her true potential, but you still saw like how good she is, like against debuff comps, because she can do that AoE revenge proc. She can cleanse 2 debuffs from all allies, right? So even if they put a defense down or unblockable or unbuffable, sorry, she's still gonna cleanse it, and on top of it, she's gonna do insane damage. Insane. Her multipliers on her S1 are kind of low, but her revenge multipliers and her S3 multipliers are decent. Like, it's decent, it's not that bad, right? Plus, on her S1, she can decrease priority of 2 targets. 2 bloody targets are getting decreased priorities. Of course, I still think her own counter is her light sister. It's not the dark sister, right? Wait, both are light? What? Oh wait, bro, I cringed. What? Both are light, actually. I just realized. Well, her own counterpart, the Demi Stella, like she's her own counter kind of in many ways, because she has no debuff, so you cannot really proc Light Stella's revenge. Plus, Light Stella on the other hand, if she decreases priority, it can proc Demi Stella's passive, right? So that's it. But I think Light Stella, she's seeing a lot of play, especially with stuff like Notia, stuff like Tamara, stuff like Akari now, Eliza, like she can literally cleanse 2 debuffs from all allies. That's huge. That's super huge, right? That's a huge cleanse, right? And you cannot ignore that. And it happens every single turn. Every single turn she takes turns. Plus she benefits greatly from speed, so building her fast, you know, fast, super agile, super damagey kind of build. It's gonna work super good on her. And I think her value is gonna only increase in RTA. I really feel that from the bottom of my heart. I still feel she has really good future potential, right? Now it's gonna be something else. Something which anti-cleavers will love. Lila is here again. I recently showed Lila and I'm super impressed by her. And I talked to a couple of people and they all agree, like, Lila is super good, right? So she is able to trigger that AoE mitigation effect. She's able to give continuous healing, increase resilience, grant fat barriers to allies. She's in general super good, right? The AoE mitigation is top tier, 15% all around the board. Granted, you require her trust item to be able to grant barriers to allies. Plus, it happens every single turn, just like, you know, stuff happens with Stella, the Demi Stella. It's an agile response, right? It's agile response, kind of like Tio, but much better, much better, right? And the thing is, it counters all AoE damage, It's gonna flat out mitigate 15% of the damage. Regardless, I still think she's not able to counter Demi Aste because, I mean, Demi Aste is just another beast, right? Her damage is something else. I still feel Demi Aste is gonna wreck through you, even if you bring some, I don't know, something like Lila or something like. I still think Demi Aste is a menace, but you know, Lila is a decent protection, especially against stuff like Demi Stella. She can constantly counter you and proc agile responses, provide fat barriers. You can see the video on my channel I just uploaded like 2 days ago. She's super good, right? No complaints there. Next up is gonna be something again a bit debatable, but I'm still putting Valentine on the great picks tier because I know a lot of controversies here around Valentine. She's not exactly seeing the best light of day at the moment because she's seen as an inferior version of Tamara right now. And with other stuffs like, you know, Lila, with stuff like Light Stella, Demi Stella, so many counters to her, she is not seeing too much play. Only time she's seen play is probably with like Nutia combos, probably with stuff like, I don't know, I can't even say it, but her utility is still there. Now, let's get this right. She still has insane good base speed. She's still able to, you know, empower damage dealers, you know, be it attack base or defense base or health base. She's just overall flat out gives high crit rate, high crit chance buff, high crit damage buff. She's able to push allies with her priority push, right? With her basic skill, she's able to have a 30% chance to dual attack, and she's able to reduce priority of all enemies, right? Of course, the third skill, you can even choose to not use it. You know, if you think you're in danger, if you think you'll proc so many counters or agile responses, you can even just use it. You can just use her as a buffer and utility pick, in my opinion, honestly. But if you're specifically using it as a cleave pick, I think her utility has gone down a bit, honestly. But regardless, she's still good. She's still having some of the unique picks, right? She's still super good. If you invested a lot of your side story piece into her, her 6-star transcendent is not that good, but you know, it is what it is. It's probably one of the best legacy heroes. Legacy, I mean like the OG ones, right? The ones which are still with us in the global launch. But you know, I still think Bullbringer is the right choice because she is one of the few which grants increased crit damage and increased crit rate buffs. So yes, she's not that good as Tamara, but still, I think she's at the number 2 spot when it comes to openers right now, right? Well, not openers in general, because I think still Alice is like a better opener, but you know what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying. Anyways, apart from that, when it comes to the next hero, it's gonna be something again pretty debatable and something which I have not personally tested yet, but I've heard evasion Ronas are going ham. evasion counter Ronas are going super ham. Now, hear me out. Again, evasion comps are something which are tricky to use. I should probably put her in the tricky to use tier, but I think evasion comps still have something to play. They really force you to have something like a Cindy, or you know, something which provides accuracy buffs. Probably just a Cindy, right? Because Cindy is able to provide the accuracy buff. She's also able to provide the attack buff, and she was like the core counter to evasion team comps that were running rampant with Demistella comps, right? Nowadays, you still see them less, but they're still there. And Rona is somebody who scales with health, same like Demistella. She's able to do the AoE defense. She's also able to do that sexy counter. She's able to hit 2 targets, so she still has a lot of play in the making. Sad thing is, you know what? The more I think about it, because I personally not used her. I'm gonna be honest. The more I think about it, maybe I should just put it down to tricky to use, because she's still at the end. She's still a evasion unit. If she does not evade, she's kind of dead. She's a dead meat. That's it, right? So that's a usage. But I do feel that her damage is decent. The more I see some videos on her, the more I think, well, with correct investment, you can probably use her easily, at least in this tier. But for now, I'm just gonna put it down to tricky to use, because she is kind of tricky to use, right? She's not that good at yet. Next up is gonna be Veronica. Veronica. I know some players are gonna hate me, but bro, Veronica's usage has been like literally stagnant. She's dropping, like, at the global launch. She was probably the best tank, bar none. But soon after, her slow speeds, her ability to keep triggering counters, revenges because of the taunt debuffs, and her in general, her slow ass speed, right? I think she still can be super good with like stuff like Demistella, stuff like, I don't know, anything which favors evasion comps like Mene. Mene could be super good with her. Stuff like Leo, right? I still think she could be decent with that, but she would require so much heavy investment. I don't know if she's even that good. She's just her only good damage scaling part is her S3. That's it. When the S3 is gone, she's just a spam bot of S1s, right? Now again, granted, she can solo teams. She can potentially solo some teams, especially if they're like fire teams, right? If they have like Valentine and stuff like that in the opposition, she can easily take down, because she provides those big fat shields every single turn. So she still has some usage. Of course, she's still super good in PvE, but you're not gonna put, down her PvE, because I feel she still has some use in PvP, but she's still pretty tricky to use. Like, Veronica's usage has fallen. If I had to choose a tank, I'd probably choose Leo over her, right? And Veronica is something you probably need to draft a team around her, because in general, she's not a good pick. She does not complement a pick. You literally have to drive a whole entire team comp around her just to make her work, right? In my opinion. Apart from that, let's go down to the next ones. This is again, I think Handu Lee, she has kind of the same problems like Veronica. She's super slow, and once you put an unbuffable, something like Akari or even Alice, her usage is gone. That's it. She's kind of useless. She's just a sitting tank. She does nothing, right? And having such a hard counter that can literally shut down your entire usage is kind of chilling to think about. Plus, she has very low damage multipliers, super low. She also, she can be easily avoided, because not everybody, who's stupid enough to attack her when she has counter buff. That's just stupid to do. If you're doing that, honestly, you should probably not play RTA or PvP for that matter. So she's easily avoidable, right? You don't have to target her. On top of it, I don't know, her usage never seems to be really that good anyways. Like, even ever since she was released, which was arguably the good time for defenders to be released, she should have seen some play, but nobody really built her, because nobody has seen some good outcomes for her. That's it. Like, I don't think there's anything else to add on that. Her skills are meh, they're super meh. Maybe in the future, with some buffs, such as like if she provides like counter to all allies or something like that, something crazy like that, or she's able to push her own priority when some ally is attacked or something. Maybe then she'll be like super good. But right now, she's kind of easily avoidable. She's just left hanging in the corner while your allies take the beatings, and she's just gonna die down. She's just gonna be a pain in the ass. That's it. Next up is gonna be, again, Cindy. Cindy is probably one of the best counters to evasion comps because of her high accuracy buff, her attack buff. The thing is, that's it. That's all she does. That's all she does. She's just here to spam her S2. Her S3 is even decent with Leo comps because she's able to extend the invincible buffs that he provides, but apart from that, really, she does nothing. So she kind of occupies an entire spot just to counter evasion comps. But she does it like the best. Like nobody does it better than her. She can empower even your shittier accuracy heroes to hit them, right? But yeah, that's it. That's why Cindy is kind of low air, but she's tricky to use, but I think she'll still usable as long as evasion comps are a thing. She will always be kind of tricky to use in this tier, right? Of course, now she does not bring something else on the table, but she does counter kind of evasion comps, right? Second up is going to be, again, somebody that is kind of evasion based only, right? We're talking about, where is she? If only I could ever find her. If only, where is she? Oh, here she is. Idit was, of course, one of those OG picks when there was Veronica, Demistella, stuff like that running around. She still is, I think, OG picked, but her usage has drastically gone down. For RTA, I don't know if you'll be able to use her, but for Arena, currently even, she can probably take you to Platinum 1 easily, probably, depending on how good your gear is, right? Apart from that, yeah, she's not even used in Diamond anymore, so yeah, her usage is falling out a lot, but I still feel with decent stats, you can probably use her to take down squishy units. Probably, big probably. So I'm still gonna probably just use her, put it down in tricky to use tier. I don't think she's complete trash yet, but she's still, she's not that good, right? Tio is another one of those 2 stars which was like literally I don't know what to say. Like 3 months ago, you would probably see Tio up here, but now she's just countered a lot. Her Notia counters her, Tamara counters her, literally everybody counters her. She's still probably one of the best stall healers in the game, besides Mayne, but that's it, right? Her main utility was her cleansing debuffs and pushing allies. Now you don't really see her. I think she still works super good against Valentine team comps, but yeah, I mean, you can probably still draft her. If you don't see Tamara, if you don't see Notia, but that's it. Even the shady Sterobe counters her, not gonna lie. But apart from that, really, she's not seeing that much usage anymore. Especially because the Transcendence is also kind of dog shit, right? I mean, what more can you expect from a 2-star, right? Oh, by the way, she's a goddess in PvE, so don't think she's trash. I think she's super good in PvE as well, right? Lastly, one more special pick that I really want to say is gonna be Maxwell. Maxwell and Saren. Now, these both type of heroes. One is a damage dealer, pure AoE damage dealer. He can penetrate defense. Thing is, he requires 2 turns to be able to do so. So, if you think you can make him survive 2 turns, put him up with those action point gear so he can stack up his burst skill and get more stacks of Truth of Revelation, and then he can use the 3rd skill on his third turn. So kind of need to make him get 3 turns somehow, which is kind of scary to do so. But he can probably do as much damage as Rin easily. But the thing is, he's not able to because he'll never get those turns. As simple as that, right? Like Rin is just flat out better than him because Rin does the same amount of damage. She also gets the extra crit buff. Like I said, she's able to increase her self attack the more times she uses S3. On the other hand, Maxwell can probably do more damage with his S3, but his S3 is just not usable instantly. That's the issue, right? So yeah, I mean, people still probably think he's good. I think he's still decent pretty much in PvE, but for PvP, I don't think he's that good, honestly. He's in the tricky to use here. Same goes for Saren. Now Saren, if you have her at like 5 stars plus, you have her 3rd burst unlocked, you can probably expect her to resurrect allies, right? But honestly, Mayne is just like a better healer, flat out better healer than her. She also has more utility than her. So Saren is like just one of those healers which can heal more than Mayne, honestly, but her utility is kind of lacking, right? Yes, her basic ability can cleanse like 1 debuff from allies, but still a minuscule chance. It's like 50-60%. So I think she still has some usage. in the game as a healer because of those anti-debuff mechanics. You can probably build your encounter to constantly proc those cleanse buffs with a basic ability. Apart from that, I don't think she's that good. Like, she just gets outshined by Mene in all tiers. Apart from Mene, probably you could use her, but then again, she does not bring anything else to the team. In short, right? She's underwhelming at best. She's not even good for like standard playstyles. Probably with bruisers, but then again, like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if she's that good with bruisers as well, right? Because bruisers themselves have like fallen quite a bit, right? Now it comes to, I think we're done with PvE. PvP. Actually, there's one more hero that I really wanted to add. If I can see her, Retreat. Now she's a new addition to 2 stars, right? She's just came with Lila, but I think she can go along with like a damage mitigation team, full-on damage mitigation team, and the fact that she can be, constantly proc her AoE attacks and dispel buffs. The more times she hit, the more cooldown reduction she gets. The thing is, again, like Lala just provides more damage mitigation. Lila does it like 15%, Retreat does it like 10%, but it's flat out, right? Lila only does it towards AoE attacks. Meanwhile, Retreat does it like, even if the attacks are single targeted, she's still gonna mitigate them by 10%. But really not recommended at the moment. But she's potentially usable, potentially, very very potentially, right? I'm talking about October. This is the pre-Akari patch, right? So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. RTA is still not here yet. I'm just making my own choices here. Tier list is subjective, as I said. When it comes to PvE only heroes, you can PvE only heroes like Air, super good. Single target damage queen. Laplace, Guild Raid, right? She's in good in Masterless Guardian. Stuff like Francisca, probably inferior version of Air, but still decent. Eternal, AoE defense break, really good against Chimera, probably the best, right? Dolly, again, really good debuffer, good to PvE oriented hero. Like, you can use her in towers, you can use her in some dungeons, even Chimera, right? Adventure mode. Noah, again, super good damage dealer. Noah could even be used put here in PvP, but I'm just gonna put her here because I know some new players might be watching. So if you want to reroll for Noah, go ahead. Noah's still a good pick for rerolling, right? What else? Aste, Red Aste is super good, super good, right? Beth, another Guild Raid hero. Marion, Guild Raids. Who else is here? Fainin, PvE. Actually, Faven might just not be that good anymore, so I'm just gonna leave her. Like, if you have Aste, Red Aste, why would you build a Fainin? That is stupid, right? Anyways, when it comes to next heroes. Now, if you'd ask me which heroes are not recommended builds, I'd probably say 2, which comes to mind, which is first is Sigma, and the other one is gonna be Sterope. Sterope, like, Sigma more than Sterope, but Sterope still is pretty bad because, she takes a lot of time to scale up her damage, her passive, and Sigma is just overall bad. Like, she's just super bad. Like, even if she has like the highest base game speed in the entire game, she's still super bad. Her skills just, they're not valuable. Like, that's it. Like, she sucks. In short, she sucks. Don't invest your resources into her. Don't invest your resources into Sterope because I don't think Sterope is viable in any part of the game right now. Right? I think her kit was pretty cool, like the damage increase mechanic. But it takes a lot of time to build up, man. It takes a lot of time. Plus, like, many like dungeons even have like turn limits, so you can't really expect to ramp up the damage over time because there's a turn limit there, right? You can't 3-star the dungeon otherwise. So there's that. Honestly, that's it from my side. That's my tier list. Please let me know what your own thoughts about it. If you're an existing player, if you're high-ranking players, let me know what I could have possibly changed. Again, I've not included Akari because I do not have her, and she's still fairly new. I can't really rank her in these rankings at the moment. I'll probably make an updated tier list next month or something, just to keep the this tier list type of movement going. By the way, shout out to the YouTuber Adjin, man. He's a great guy. I'm using his template, the tier list template. This is all of his images. So shout out to him, and yeah, go watch him as well. That's it from my side. As I said, I'll see you later then. Peace out.